Hi everyone, I'm Alberta from the USA, a girl from a not-so-poor family, but there's always someone cooler, richer, and more pathos. Don't you agree? Exactly such a friend I have. His parents are crazy rich and everyone always wants to be friends with Tom, but he didn't make contact with just anyone. Or should I say, almost no one. There were rumors that he went to some super private school, that there was just an army of security guards, a special curriculum, foreign languages and all that. No one saw where it was, but everyone knew there was one, and that Tom was the top student. Tom's parents sometimes threw a party among millionaires, and it was as secret as their son's school. It was impossible to get in because the hosts of the party, Mr. and Mrs. Byrne, met the guests in person. They were not much different from their son. They weren't sociable, except in their inner circles. And I didn't care about that family until one day, when I got to that ill-fated party and learned the worst secret the Byrne family was hiding. So that's what I'll tell you. In the meantime, subscribe to the channel, like it, share the link to my story, and don't forget to write your comments below. What was the family hiding that was so horrible? Any guesses? That day, my friend and I were sitting around dying of boredom. Jen offered to hook up with a nerd, go to a club, or just for a drive, but I wasn't into it. So we decided to go shopping, but even that didn't make us happy. On our way out of the mall, I saw Tom. He and I sort of knew each other. We even chatted a little bit, so I decided to say hello. Hey, what's up? I said to him, but he walked right by me without even looking. Jen gloated. Wow, our Mr. Underdog didn't even look at you. Alberta, you're losing your touch. What? I'm sure he just didn't hear me. I've seen him before. It's impossible to forget someone like moi. So I turned around and followed him. Strangely enough, he looked in the boutique all for pets. Weird. As I recall, his family hates animals. He bought something, wrapped it in his backpack, and hurried off. Jen assumed it was for the party at their house. Right, they must be cooking up something crazy. I hear they're having a blast. I thought you'd been there before. Not yet. Well, what kind of friends are you? Even if you were ex-friends, he'd invite you to a private party, wouldn't he? I'm going tonight. What? Without an invitation? I don't need one. Jen gave me the idea, and yes, I went with pride. I really wanted to suddenly tell everyone that I was the guest of honor there. Take pictures and videos and everything. My popularity would blow up. That's for sure. Resolutely taking Jen's hand, I took her to an expensive boutique and bought myself a pantsuit for the party. I set myself up for as long as I could. Getting through the security crowd wasn't easy. I lucked out. Just as a team of attendants arrived with me, I bribed one of them and he shared the uniform and badge of a sick colleague. Inside, the huge courtyard was its own vibe. Music, pool, drinks, lots of food, and a total blast. Classic. I acted confident, like I was there for work, and looked for Tom everywhere. But just as I was thinking about him, I saw him flying out of the house and rolling across the lawn. What the hell was that? Why was everyone laughing? Why isn't anyone helping him? But the strangest thing was that his folks, Mr. and Mrs. Byrne, came out behind him. They were holding champagne glasses and roaring as they watched their son get all dirty. Tom got up off the lawn, and then a woman walked up to him, poured juice on him, and yelled, "Piece of shit!" And everyone laughed again. I hid behind the trees and couldn't believe my eyes, yanked the bribed waiter and asked, "What's going on here?" To which he replied, "Same thing as every year," and left. No one tried to stop the assailants. On the contrary, everyone in front of whom a confused, dirty Tom passed called him names, poured a drink on him, and everyone laughed. It was a trashy thing to do. Under the cover of a waitress, I followed Tom. He left the grounds of the house and went down the next street to an abandoned, ramshackle house and went inside. Quietly sneaking in, I noticed him taking a piece of apple out of his hamster cage, out of his pocket, and giving it a nibble. He cleaned the cage, replaced the filler, added water, and talked to it. I was standing on a half-broken board so I could see everything under the window, but the wood broke, and I fell. He immediately pinned me against the wall and was so menacing. "You tell anyone, you're dead." I didn't know you liked rodents. None of your damn business. Look, I get it, not a word to anyone, but can you not be so rude? I didn't do anything to you. Unlike your parents. Stay out of it and forget it. It's worse for you. Okay, I'm out of here. And yes, change that litter more often. Wash the dishes preferably every day and don't give him apples. How do you... I work for free at a pet store. Tell no one or you're dead too. Okay. What store? And why? So we got to talking. It didn't take us long, but we talked 4 hours straight. Tom was really into animals. And I didn't lie to him. I did work there in my spare time for free. I didn't need the money. I just liked taking care of animals, and I couldn't get one because of my mom's allergies. So we became more and more close, and he would go to work with me and help me out. It was wonderful. I even drifted away from Jen because it was much more interesting to be with Tom. We got off work one day and went out for ice cream while walking down the street. Everything was so beautiful, and Tom finally told me that this kind of attitude from his parents was the norm. They have indoor parties, mimicking holidays at school. They mock me with a whole crowd, sometimes hit me, spit in my face. My parents think it's the only way to toughen me up, because they went through this themselves when they were in school. I couldn't believe his words. Maybe they should have just put you in a regular school. No, you don't understand. They're afraid that regular school will be too hard for me, like it was for them. My mother and father had an embarrassing nickname. Everyone called them something... I can't remember. Anyway, they were bullied by the same couple. They all went to different schools. That couple in one and my parents in another, and that couple managed to make my folks' lives hell. My mother was determined that there was no way she would let me into society, but to toughen me up, she decided to bully me herself. So we said our goodbyes and went our separate ways. But an hour later, Tom called me in a panic, informing me that his mother had killed his hamster. He said it was part of the bullying Tom had to go through. I wanted to punch that lady. I arrived at Tom's house in the middle of the night and we buried the hamster together. He was having a really hard time, so we got in my car and I hugged him, and he cried quietly. Then, for the first time, he admitted that he was tired, that he couldn't live like that anymore, that the house had become a prison for him and his folks had become his wardens. I knew people like them. My parents told me that in their time, bullying in schools was rampant, but only he and my father were able to free themselves and survive. And one crazy couple did not. It's about us after all. Your dad and I just set ourselves free, and someone else buried themselves deeper by bullying others. That's how they assert themselves, Mom said. I felt bad for Tom. A couple of days later, I bought him a new hamster with a nicer, wider cage. He was so excited that he kissed me. But I didn't mind. I loved it. At that point, his mother and father walked in. At the sight of the cage, his mother hid it. The cage fell down with the hamster inside, and I was so scared. You're nothing. You can't take care of yourself. And then there's that hamster. And who's this girl? What did I tell you about relationships? The dad wanted to hit Tom, but I grabbed his arm. What do you think you're doing? Stop it! You're both crazy. I'm going to report you to the child welfare authorities. You animals! How do you treat your son like this? What? Who are you? I know better how to raise my son. Get out before I kick your ass. Why? Honey, you heard how brazen she is. At our school in San Francisco, she'd be pecked at. San Francisco High? Yes. Why? 1992. Mr. and Mrs. Hook? His parents went pale. It was as if they'd been hit over the head with something heavy. Tom's father and mother took a few steps away from us, and I walked towards them. I'm the daughter of the same couple that you wanted to make the victims of bullying, but they didn't. I heard that you were very fond of bullying when you were young. You were victims yourselves, but you especially enjoyed bullying others. And now you realize that these are illegal acts and decide to bully your own son, right? Oh, you bitch! How dare you! I'm going to beat you up. What? Hit me, come on. I'll run to the police. I won't leave it at that. Honey, let's go outside. We'll deal with this one later. You lay a finger on Tom, I'm not responsible for my actions. Is that clear? What are you gonna do? I took out my phone and showed them a moment from the party, how they were both kicking their son, insulting and pouring alcohol on him. It will be online, and all my 700,000 subscribers will see it. Your sadomasochistic love affair is over. So they're gone. It's been 4 months since then. Tom got a dog in the house, a cat, a new hamster. We went for walks, ate ice cream, he got a job at my school, and most importantly, his parents were quieter than ever. And if they think of anything, I have the videos saved in my drafts. Tell me guys, did you like my story? Write your opinion about it in the comments below the video. Don't forget to like it, share the video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel.